Hey guys, welcome back to FreckleFace Finance, where we discuss personal finances open and honestly so that you can live the life that you deserve. So it is officially October 1st, and I wanted to make a quick video on how to prepare to pay back your student loans. This applies to millions and millions of borrowers, and as I was thinking about it, there's probably a ton of people who have never made a student loan payment before due to the pandemic. So if being able to prepare to make back your payments in student loans applies to you, or if you're interested in that type of content, then please keep on watching. So if you're new to paying back student loans and you've never made a payment before, you're probably wondering, who on earth do you make payments to? Because it's actually not your school. Your loan is probably serviced by the federal government. So first you need to find out who services your federal student loans. And so this actually applies to first timers as well as the OGs, because during the pandemic, a lot of the companies who previously serviced our federal student loans just no longer service them. So for example, my federal student loan used to be serviced by FedLoan, and now it's serviced by Nelnet. I know that my sister, hers actually changed during the pandemic as well. And so it's very likely that your federal student loan servicer no longer services your federal student loans, and so you need to find out who you're actually going to be making your payments to. So they actually did not make this change overnight, and so if you were previously paying your student loans or previously had your federal student loan serviced by a particular company, you should have received a ton of emails on it, maybe even some phone calls letting you know that your federal student loan was going to be transferred to a new company. Now, for some reason you no longer have access to the email and you didn't get any of that information, don't fret. I'll give you the information on how to find out who your federal student loan is serviced by. So I'll go ahead and put it on the screen here, and I'll also leave it down in the description box below so that you can click on the link. You can log into My Aid. So there's multiple ways that you can find out who services your federal student loans. So if you had a previous account, you can log into your old account, and there should be some type of message on the dashboard that's going to let you know that your loan has been transferred or will be transferred by a particular date. Now, if you've lost that information or if you're a newcomer, don't worry, I'll also leave information down in the description box below. There's a phone number that you can call in order to find out who services your loans so that you know who you're making payments to. So the second thing that you need to do in order to be able to prepare to pay back your student loans is you need to actually know how much you owe. And so if you are a first timer, when you log into your account, you're automatically going to be set up in order to make payments for 10 years. And so depending on how much you owe, your payments can actually be very, very large. You can always make adjustments to it, but I recommend trying to stick with that 10-year plan if at all possible. And then of course, if you're able to make extra payments, be able to pay that off a little sooner. Now, if you are part of the OG club, then you already know that. But yeah, your payments should pick back up where they left off at. They also have bank information if you were set up for automatic payments. So all of that information is going to transfer over from your previous servicer. And so if you've changed bank accounts in the last 3 years, or if your previous payments are no longer applicable because of financial hardship, then you want to make sure that you go in and update your information so that it's current. So after you log into your account and you are able to identify how much your monthly payment would be, the third step that you want to do is you want to look for these two very important things. Number one, you're going to want to make sure that you were not charged interest over the last 3 years. And so I know when I logged into my account, I saw that I was charged interest, which should not have happened. And so you want to make sure that you were not cheated out of not making interest payments over the last 3 years. It was a federal law. It's very well out there. And so you just want to make sure that your loan servicer did not sneakily put that onto your account, and that your interest over the last 3 years should read as 0. If you're having any issues with that, you can just contact your loan servicer and they should be able to make those adjustments for you. Now, disclaimer, I have been trying to resolve this since January. So it takes a very long time, but don't get discouraged. Don't let them cheat you out of your money. You need to just keep making calls, although it is so frustrating. So yes, if anyone watching this video has like a direct call to someone who I could file a complaint against, I would greatly appreciate that. But in the meantime, I just have to keep following through on my phone calls and making sure that they adjust a no interest on my behalf. Now, the second thing that you want to be looking out for is that you want to make sure that your contact information is updated. And one of those important reasons that you're going to want to make sure that your contact information is updated is because you're going to be receiving some type of tax form in February, January timeframe that is going to account for the interest that you paid from now until December. So just to recap that really quickly, because I know it can be a little confusing, but when you log into your account, you want to make sure, number one, that you are not charged interest from March 2020 to October 2023. And then the second thing is that you want to make sure that your contact information is updated so that you can get important information, specifically the tax information that should be coming out from October interest payments to December interest payments. So those are two very important things that you want to make sure you check for when you log into your account. And so the third thing that you want to do in order to prepare to pay back your student loans is you want to make sure that you have a budget. And so I'll leave a little video up here that you guys can check out in order to see how I create a budget. I have a spreadsheet that I use. I find it to be very organized and it keeps me on track, and so I'll leave that for you guys to take a look at. But you want to make sure that your budget allows for you to make on time, in full payments. And so if for some reason you're unable to do that, you can defer. And I know that it is a very hard time for a lot of people, and so if you're unable to make those payments, don't stress about it, don't be embarrassed about it, but not addressing it is not going to make it go away. So if you're unable to make those payments, you can contact your student loan servicer and you can do what is called a deferment. And so what a deferment is that your account will not go into default, and so it won't show that you're missing payments, it will just show that your payment is zero. And so you can do that for, I believe, 12 months is what it allows you to do, but you have to submit some type of financial documentation in order to show that you have a financial hardship, and then that's why you're requesting to have your loans deferred for the moment. And so one of the good things or bad things that come with deferment is that you can defer multiple times. And so you get 12 months deferred, and if this time next year, if it's still not working out in your budget because things have not gotten back to normal, you can defer again. Now, there is a limited amount of times that you can defer, and so I recommend that you use that wisely. If you can make even small payments, you can negotiate the payment and the schedule with your loan servicer. And so if you are able to make lower payments and not defer, that is definitely preferred over deferring. But like I said, a lot of people are in different financial situations right now, and so if you're unable to make any payment, there is always an option to defer. Okay, so I also want to discuss some of the repayment option plans that you have other than deferment. And so here's a list of repayment plan options that you have. They have the income-based repayment, which is based off of your income. They have pay as you earn, so as you increase in your career or advance in your career and your income increases, so does your monthly student loan repayments. There are a ton of different options that you have, and so I'll leave a link down in the description below so that you can check that out. So as far as this video, when it comes to repayment, the big takeaways that I want you guys to know is that if you have to defer, it is okay, don't feel embarrassed, and deferment is better than default. So it's not going to impact your credit. Please just make sure that you make your minimum payments, or make sure that you communicate with your servicer so that you have zero payment to make sure that it's not going into default. Alright you guys, so I don't want to make this video terribly too long. I just wanted to come on here and give you guys a quick little tidbit of what to do if you are in the boat of having to repay back your student loans after being on a hiatus for 3 years. So if you guys enjoyed this video even a little bit, please make sure to give me a thumbs up so it can be pushed to a larger audience, and I'll see you guys in my next one. Bye.